Y is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
I just saw this
What?
story about Karen the ostrich, and I'm a little upset.
Wait, what'd you say?
I just saw this story about Karen the ostrich, and I'm a little upset.
Well, I don't want to hear it if it's sad.
Oh, it's sad.
Oh, then don't tell me.
She's a 5-year-old, or was a 5-year-old
You're such an
ostrich at the
asshole.
Topeka Zoo, and
Why are you telling me this?
she snatched a set of keys from
Oh
a
my
staff
God, why
member.
are you telling me this?
Yeah, so
Oh my God. Why?
so they said she was not just an animal,
Why
she
are
was a
you telling
beloved
me
member of
this?
her community.
You're terrible.
Her Some
Oh
of
my
her fun
God.
activities, she loves playing in the water, swimming in the pool, playing in the sprinkler,
I
and best
can't
of
with
all,
you.
being our dancing queen.
It's, are you really? This is terrible.
I'm done. I'm done.
Wait, did the like,
That's how Monday's show is opening, by the way.
it's just me telling you to stop telling me about the
Stop
ostrich?
while I'm exactly. Stop telling me about Karen.
This is Why, with your hosts, Heidi Hedquist and Luke Poling.
Let's talk about Red Lobster. So
Mm.
they are considering going under and filing for bankruptcy because they're blaming COVID a little bit, but then they also lost I think it's $19 million on this. Why isn't this article? Oh, because it's a New York Post.
Because
That's
they
why.
did
Okay.
the unlimited shrimp, right? They did
Exactly.
this
Yes, this
unlimited
is the
shrimp
cause
campaign,
of.
which, first of all, they ran this campaign for a pretty significant amount of time. Now,
Yeah.
I weirdly know a lot about Red Lobster
Oh,
because
do tell.
although I am not a massive Red
Hmm.
Lobster fan, I am a massive Cheddar Biscuit fan. I
Mm.
have a lot of colleagues that love Red Lobster, several friends who love Red Lobster.
Is Sandy one of those friends?
I don't think so.
Hmm. We'll
Dave,
have to get
however,
her on the.
is one of those
I
friends.
see. We'll have to get her on the blower and see her
I
take on
know we
this.
will have to ask her. Um, and so that campaign ran for a really long time. So maybe they shouldn't have
Yeah.
run it so long. Now,
Yeah.
that being said, the salt and vinegar shrimp, which
Hmm.
sounds disgusting,
Hmm.
is freaking amazing.
I just so they lost $11 million
Okay,
in all you can eat shrimp. And here's, as you know, I did not go to business school.
I didn't either, which is why this podcast is a
Is
phenomenal
what it
show,
is.
but is not
Exactly.
making any money. Yes.
Right. So I feel like after the first million, somebody should have stuck their head up and been like, boss, quick question. Should we stop this?
Well, I
Or
think
is this like the lost leader thing where we're going to make it
right.
up on cheddar biscuits? We're going to
Okay, but
take a
cheddar
bath on
biscuits
shrimp.
are unlimited and free. So
Okay.
already. Also feel like maybe this is one of those promos you do like the Bath and Body Works. You run it like the candle promo that everyone like loses their mind over every year. That
Right.
you run it like for a hot minute and
Mm,
everybody comes in and like goes crazy
right.
for that hot minute. And because of everyone who doesn't like shrimp or people like me who like shrimp, but is never going to eat more than like a
Right.
skewer.
Yeah, you're more of a king crab kind of gal.
No,
No. Okay, interesting.
I'm a like lobster tail
Mm,
snapper without the head on it. Like
sure.
get
Where do
in,
you
get out. But
stand
I
on
am
the
not an
bin?
all you can eat person. Like I
Mm,
am not
yeah, I get that.
ever.
But if there's a
So,
chance for two desserts, I
oh
mean,
yeah,
come on. Like,
that for sure.
wait, I can do creme brulee and something else. Great. Sign
Right.
me up.
Cheesecake. All you can
Yes.
eat cheesecake.
Oh my God. It'd be
I
amazing.
could definitely like take down a couple pieces.
Yeah,
But even still, you're only going to get two pieces out of me.
right. Well, because then
And
most people would
I
be like,
love
I wanted to.
cheesecake.
Well, I feel like at those types of places, not that I frequent them, but when there's a chance for to overindulge in food, my thought is always, I'm really having a great time. whatever it is, this chicken or this pork fried rice or this whatever is great. If I eat more, it's going to taste great, but in about 25 to 45 minutes, I'm going to want to die because I'll
Yeah,
just be
see, I
so
don't,
full of pork fried rice and
yeah,
it's just going to be miserable.
but I don't have stomach issues, so
I even don't even mean that. I just mean feeling full and feeling like I I I just feel disgusting,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So
But I don't know, but
you can just eat all you
regardless,
want, and I get it. I
I can,
understand.
yeah.
Please, yeah.
But, okay, regardless,
Yes.
this is a stupid thing after billions of years in business, because it's
Right.
been around since time began, to go under for. Now,
Hmm.
flip side of this, do we feel that perhaps this is, yes, they lost a bunch of money on it. Yes, they may file for bankruptcy, but is it the bankruptcy not where you close? Is it the bankruptcy where you file and restructure? And are they saying that we lost this because we made a bad mistake? But this is our ploy to get everybody to come back in, because people do passionately love Red Lobster. That
Maybe.
everyone comes in and this is the Save the Lobsters campaign.
Right. So the CEO gets kicked out for faults of their own. They take the hit, and the rest of us just drown our sorrows in lobster tail and cheddar biscuits.
And paying for, I don't know.
The shrimp that we do eat.
Right.
I feel like because the Olive Garden's got that right balance. Unlimited salad and breadsticks.
Right. Soup, salad, and breadsticks, right?
Like 2 breadsticks, you're full.
Mhm.
Throw in a cup of soup, you're good. You can't get any more in there.
Right. And the salad's like a key.
I like the dressing. I
I do
can't
too,
believe
but
this
it's
has
like
turned into a
too,
let's talk about chain restaurants for
I know, because
45 minutes.
I know.
I don't know. What made you want to kind of go back to the Metallica? This is volume 2. Was this always the idea to do a part 2 to this record?
Well, at least I think that throughout the whole career, we have had this in our minds that in some point we might want to go back to this, because we always loved to play Metallica. That's the obvious reason why we started. And there were still so many cool songs left that didn't fit into the first album. So in a way, this has been in our minds for maybe 20 years already. But this was just the right moment. We had the re-release of the first album in 2016, and we'd made some anniversary tours for a couple of years. We did the playing Metallica concept, and there was still a high demand from promoters and obviously from the audiences that we should play more of those shows, and they were very popular. And that's why we thought that, okay, this is the moment where we want to do those concerts again, but this time let's bring in even a new album to support all of that. So yeah, it just felt like a correct timing. And we have always had that in as our guiding light, in a way that we need to do things that feel right in the right moment, and tackling into such projects where we feel that we still have a possibility to develop ourselves, to evolve as a band, to bring our sound, the entire cello equipment mess like further. So I think one of the reasons why Apocalyptica is still going strong, at least in our heads, is the fact that we want to challenge ourselves and all the time find new ways of using our instruments and new ways of creating music.
Well,
What was sorry.
no, go.
What was the first song that you didn't make it to the first album that you knew unequivocally had to be on this one?
Well, personally, one of the most obvious songs which was probably the first song that came into the mind when we spoke about the possibility of this album with Eikka the first time. I have been always voting for Blackened because that's the first song I heard in 80s from Metallica, and that brought me, Justice for All album brought me into their music, and actually that might be the reason why this album has several songs from that Justice for All album, because it really, for me personally, this was amazing that I used to love Metallica lots when I was a teenager. So it was all about Metallica's music when we were in school. And of course, then came even long periods of time that you didn't listen to them so actively anymore, maybe creating own music, touring a lot, and the life changes as well, and music taste changes. But last year, when we started this process, I was listening absolutely all of Metallica's back catalog, even a couple of times, like just to get the new feel and to seek for possible songs we could play. And that was an amazing moment because it brought me back to the very, very same feeling of the teenager. There are the obvious reasons why their music is timeless, why it still fascinates people a generation after another. So it kind of made the same thing to me, that I renewed my love towards Metallica's music throughout this, and it was really, really fascinating thing to realize, and kind of feels good in this moment of life to feel young again.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we are allowed to be childish or something similar, that life doesn't always need to be too serious. And yeah,
Oh,
I still love
yes.
what we do, and it's amazing.
Always. We should be childish always.
Well, and it's so
Yeah.
cool. You said you've got, there's Ride the Lightning 1, which the fact that didn't make the first record is mind-boggling, but
No.
we'll go from there. We'll let that be. You play Saint Anger. How do you feel about the drums on that record? And how did you was that like we can make the sound better than the way they did it?
Saint Anger is, of course, it divides people.
That's a nice
And,
way to put it. Let's put it that way.
Divides people. Another way, a polite way of saying is, it is a challenging album. I might not be able to listen to the entire album from the beginning to end, but it has great moments. It has absolutely hilariously cool riffs. And when it comes to the title track itself, we thought that we definitely want to have something also from this album. And suddenly when we started to think of the things and forget basically the how Metallica sounds, because that's also one thing we had to do with basically all the songs. If you want to create an arrangement of your own, and in a way that there is a reason why our kind of a band is playing somebody else's music, we have to kind of forget how the original is and find a interesting and fascinating way to approach the music. So in our minds, I think that we adapt the song in a way that we try to steal it, like let's make it to sound like an Apocalyptica song, but of course it is the great song of Metallica. So Saint Anger was really, really cool because realizing that the riff is amazing, it works so cool with the cello, and we just thought that, okay, let's go even more brutal. Let's not be afraid of that aspect. And I think that we just challenged ourselves, and especially with the help of our producer, Joe Barresi, who is incredible with all the equipment. He has every single amp and stompbox ever created in human history, basically. So he's really into sound. We spent countless hours and days of time to just find cool sounding, weirdly vibrating things, and challenging the cello as an instrument to the limits and over that. And I don't tell yet maybe how we created the snare, but that was a cool, because it was not done with the percussions. It was accidentally I was playing the ending solo of Holier Than Thou, actually, and we once again had like one full day of fooling around with effects, and all weird delays with Joe. And in the end of the evening, I was already kind of exhausted, and I just started to slap and bang my cello in a very stupid way, like a puppy would be when it's bored, something like this. And suddenly there was this sound in our ears, and we looked at each other with Joe. Without communication, we both knew that we fucking found the Saint Anger snare from the cello, just accidentally.
Amazing.
And then we quickly swapped into this song, and yeah, there it is. And I was almost breaking my instrument, but going really, really crazy with it. But yeah, some really cool and funny things happen when you explore and you are open-minded in the studio. I think I'm very happy and proud about our version of Saint Anger because oh, this is gonna sound bad. It sounds now as it should have always sounded.
No, that's
I hear ya.
fair.
Yeah.
No, that
And how many
But
Metallica
the
fans
song
are
is great.
certainly no shade there,
Right.
but I think there's many a Metallica fan who might be like, yeah, the snare sounds better.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. And the other cool thing on this record, you have one track that you dedicate to Cliff Burton, and then the
Yes.
track right after that, you have Rob, I can never say his last name, Trujillo, I believe,
Yeah.
playing with you. So you've got this great like Metallica past and present. What was it like playing with him? Were you in the studio with him when he was recording his part? Did you get to communicate with him at all?
Yeah, actually, the entire thing went in a way that we have had a very close, and Metallica has a close relation with the guys throughout the whole career. Metallica has always been incredibly supportive to the things we have done, and
Even
but
Lars?
we always, especially Lars, especially
Fucking
I have to
Lars.
say that especially Lars, and maybe that's because of sharing the Scandinavian aspect. That but Lars has
Yes.
been really, really curious about us since the beginning, and I would guess that he is the main reason why we ever supported them in the start and all of that. But yeah, we wanted to write to Lars that we would have a dream and a plan, another album this, and we wanted to ask, just like in general, would they accept it, or kind of do we have their approval or blessing? And the answer was absolutely yes, and that they always loved the things what we have done. So eventually Rob actually even informed that if you need the bass for something, he would be willing to do it, and we didn't expect such a gesture from their side, and it was wonderful, amazing thing.
Yeah.
He actually he wanted to record by himself, so we were basically sitting in a cafeteria next to the studio, but he was like he wanted to be very concentrated in the playing of that. But it was amazing, of course. Then also it was amazing to have Rob in the studio listening to the other songs and kind of seeing his enthusiasm. He's a big music lover, and seeing the smile of his, like, and then he starts to ask, okay, how did you do this thing? And wow, did you play that solo? Whoa. So it's incredible, of course, because we love their music, we love the guys, have a like never-ending appreciation to the legacy they've created for the world of music. So it's amazing that we have a chance to even play with these dudes and still show our kind of an appreciation to their music.
I mean, that's the ultimate, right? I mean, that is, what more could any, I don't know. I feel like that's the ultimate of the ultimate of the ultimate, which is not possible, but that to not only be able to get their blessing, to have him play, to see, to listen and hear what he played, then to have him show that he enjoys what you did, but then also to see the joy of what he created and see through his eyes how he appreciates, it's like the full circle of fan to appreciate it. It's just like the ultimate full circle of what music does and brings, and like that how it
Mutual
transpired through all
admiration.
of you, right?
Yeah.
But then mutual admiration society always has that negative connotation, although I think it's wonderful. But
Right.
it's just like you got to experience just the most beautiful way that music feeds the world, right?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I think, yeah, it is. And then the people who really do their art with full hearts, they seem to be like so true persons. For example, I can't ever stop saying how amazing music lovers Metallica people are. They don't, the guys, of course, they are the biggest band in the business, but you don't really feel it. You don't see
Right.
it in their behavior in that sense. They are curious about things, curious about projects and new music and stuff like that. So I would guess that that's also one of the big reasons why they kept going on always, that there is just the passion that you love to play those riffs. And there's like it's so amazing. And it has transferred to us as well since the start, and I'm really highly expecting actually all the tours that are coming now with this album, because it will be the moment when, for example, me can go to the stage once again, pretending to be eternally teenager who
That's
just loves
awesome.
this music, and seeing like I hope to always, the main purpose probably or the biggest reward in a gig is to see people smiling, laughing, in tears maybe, so that those emotions that we feel when we play, that they are transferred also to the audience, and that is something so beautiful that I can't explain. It's yeah,
That's
it's
amazing.
amazing feeling of unity in some kind.
Right.
Everybody
Well,
is
and-
there because of the same reason.
right. And don't you
Mm.
love as kids how everyone was so like afraid of, everyone was so afraid of Metallica and afraid of them, and they were so scary and awful, and it was so awful, and they were such terrible, scary people. And and then you think of it now, and they're such great people, and all the good things you're saying. I love it. I don't know. I think
Mhm.
it's funny how it's just great.
Yeah, and of course
Because
they are
they're awesome.
scary.
Right. They're terrifying. They're awful, terrible, terrible people.
Yeah.
But no, it's amazing.
Well, what was it like because of this relationship with the band when you're cutting this record to know that there is no doubt that these guys are going to hear it?
Right.
And whether it's replicating a solo or a sound, to know that Kirk Hammett is going to be listening to you play the same riff and kind of going, you're dealing with,
He's
like you
not
said,
gonna
these
do that.
great, well, but you're dealing with
I
these
know.
great musicians, and they obviously have this great body of work and an amazing career. And then you're showing up and going, so here's how we did one. Is that a little intimidating? Do you, when you made the record, are you in the back of your mind going, I hope Kirk digs this because this is scary?
When you do your thing, you never should be afraid of anything, I think, and keeping all of those elements out of your mind usually helps to find the best version of yourself. So I would say that I I think that we were kind of brave in a way, trying to make all these songs to sound still as Apocalyptica. And that's very important for us, that we didn't want to replicate things or just to play a song with the cello, but instead like finding a different type of an arrangement even for majority of these songs. And I would say that this is now 9 songs where we go music genre wise in a very wide range, from acoustic chamber music to brutal thrash and everything in between, in a way. So I think the only thing you can do while creating something like this is to trust yourself. And if you love it from the bottom of your heart, you are definitely doing something right,
Mm.
at least aesthetically what pleases us. And then it's question about the rest of the world. They judge it, whether they like it or whether they feel the same as we do. But actually, we the Metallica, they already heard the album, of course, and we got some really pleasing feedback actually. So they seem to dig it a lot, and yeah, it's amazing in a way to realize that all of this is possible.
Oh, just again, like
But yeah, for
Mhm.
the audience, I feel that anybody who really makes music that vibrates strongly inside them, they do find the like-minded people who feel and who need this similar feeling. I always trusted that if I cry, because I would be touched by some song. I can't be the only one who feels that deep emotion in the world.
Mhm. It's
Yeah.
true.
And what was I going to say? I completely lost my train of thought. Well, but I think too, like you said, the sincerity of it and the love comes through, and that's kind of the key as well, that this is coming from such a place of admiration, and it's not like, oh, we can clean these songs up. It is, these are great songs, and let us show you how great by showing the versatility of them. How often did you stop and go, man, if the 16-year-old me could see this now, Robert kicked us out of the studio. We're sitting next door waiting for him to finish. Like, I'm assuming that would just blow your mind as a kid growing up listening to these records.
Of course, it has a strong effect, and in a way, it still does that thrill. And but after all these years, after a long career of our own, of course, you start to see things in a different way. So maybe when I think of the Metallica or the individuals behind Metallica, I see them still as my idols, but also as colleagues, as people who do their work, they love what they do. So there is a lot of common, and it's a fascinating fact that, and especially it comes from their behavior, that it never felt like that we would be the small band and something weird like that. But instead of encouraging, and I think that they must have genuinely liked our work too, because the support has been constant since the start, and it still is there. So I'm very happy, and I hope that somebody of them could come to the show. We are having our release concert in Helsinki on, I think, 8th of June, which is in between two Metallica shows in the Olympic Stadium in Helsinki. So our release date is planned.
That's amazing.
Planned to that weekend, and we have our album release show is in between Metallica concerts on the Saturday, when the city is anyway full of Metallica fans, and so it's just like a really, really wonderful weekend ahead, and I hope that they come to watch our show. It's always thrilling. I remember the very first time when we were so young and playing some festival somewhere, and in between something like Fight Fire with Fire or a brutal song, I'm banging my crazy head and looking to the side of the stage, and the whole Metallica is there, and James is like biting his teeth and checking on us, and I'm like, this is so fucked up.
Like,
it's so cool.
Yeah,
but
so cool.
But instead that making me feel more nervous or something, I think it only encouraged to do that. Okay, it seems like they also appreciate the musicianship of ours. It's cool.
Apocalyptica Plays Metallica Volume 2 is available July 6th wherever you get your music. For more information, check out their website, apocalyptica.com, and they are also on Facebook at facebook.com/apocalyptica.
Why the Podcast is produced by the Professional Production Company. Please be sure to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, because we're shallow and need constant validation. For more information, you can check out our website, whythepodcast.com. And like everyone else, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Today's show was recorded and produced by Heidi Hedquist and myself from our world headquarters located on the second floor of the professional office building, centrally located downtown. Our reluctant executive producers are John Sauvé and Sandy Stone. Our willing producers are Rachel Allen and Randy Jeanette. Our intern is Zach Jackson. This one's for Philippe. Thanks for joining us. Flash, we're coming home.
Nigel, is that you? Are you here, Nigel?